What's up, YouTube? It's Kiko here, doing a deck profile over the Evol deck he's running.
What's up, guys? I've been telling you about this deck for a while, and I've had a lot of people request me to show it, so I'm going to show you guys, explain the deck out a little bit in case people don't know what the Evols do. We got new support out of Galactic Overlord, so makes the deck a lot more viable, and I think the deck is on the border of being tier 1. If it's not, we're going to have to see how people do at YCS Philly and in Nationals. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the deck and I'll explain as we go. First you got 3 Evotile Westlow. I'm going to run through the Evotiles first. The thing that's so good about Westlow, he's a 1900 defense monster, so of course you're going to set him. And your opponent's going to attempt to most likely attack into him if you don't have any back row to stop their monsters. So anything that's high attack like Thunder King or whatever, it doesn't get over this. So when they attack it, they'll either crash into it or they'll take damage. And then you get his effect, which is to special summon an Evil Sword from the deck. And Evil Swords only get their effects when they're brought out by the effects of Evotiles. So you got to run through him. He's the heart and soul of the deck. And we'll get back to some other stuff that you can do with him later. 3 Najasho. Now that we have Evo Diversity, which is the Rhoda, some people aren't playing 3 of these. I still like 3 because I want to get this to my hand as quick as possible. He is the card that you want to have in hand first turn, if you're able to. When he's tributed, you bring out an Evolstar monster, and the Evolstar monster gets its effect, essentially. And he works with another card later in the deck, which I'll explain as well. Next, 3 Evolstar Serato. These are the Evolstars now. This is the Laquaria of the deck. He comes out at 1900 when he's normal summon. If he's special summoned by an Evotile, which would most likely be this guy, or it could be this guy when he's combined with Evo Force, he gains 200 attack. And if he's brought out that way, then destroys a monster by battle, he gets to add an Evotile from the deck to the hand. So you don't want to draw your dinosaurs if you can avoid it, but if you do draw your dinosaurs, this is the best one to grab because he's your Thunder King, being that he's 1900 beat stick, so he's kind of hard to deal with. Your next dinosaur is Diplo. We're running 2 of him. He's basically a Mystical Space Typhoon when he comes out by the effect of an Evotile. He's a level 4 1600, so if you do draw him, he's not horrible again because he is 1600. But like I said, you don't want to draw these if you don't want, if you can help it. So that's why I'm not running 3. So essentially, your opponent could maybe if your opponent's not too skilled in the game, and they set a back row, and then they summon a monster and attack, and it doesn't get over Westlow. Westlow would summon out Diplo and blow up the back row. So there's lots of big plays that you can bring out with Diplo, and if you get off more than one of the combos with Najasho and Evo Force, you can bring out 2 of them at the same time, pop 2 back rows, and if they want to waste a Solemn Warning or Judgment on this guy coming out, so be it. Then he did his job. Now we run 2 Volcanoes. Now once we added 2 of the newer monsters that I'll show you here in a second, I took one of these guys out, but then I decided I really wanted him back in the deck because there's a lot of times when you are able to have Najasho and bring out Evo Force mid-game, and this guy, when he's brought out by an Evotile, he special summons an Evil Sword from the graveyard, so he's a Monster Reborn. So essentially, if you were to have this guy plus Evo Force and you tribute mid-game, bring out 2 Volcanoes, bring 2 dinosaurs out from the graveyard. So let's say you brought out these 2 guys, and then you can attack, tag, do whatever you want to. Go into 2 Logias, 2 Dolkas, 1 Logia, 1 Dolka, whatever you have. So he's a really good card, and he's a 1200 attacker. So this is the guy you want to draw the least as far as your dinosaurs are concerned. But he does have the highest defense of 1000. So if that means anything to you,
and
then
it
go
doesn't.
for it. Next, we have 2 of the new guy, Darwino. Darwino, basically, when he comes out, I don't want to get the wording wrong here, but when he comes out by the effect of an Evotile monster, he targets a monster on the field and increases the target level by up to 2. So, also, back to the play with Najasho and Evo Force, if you were to tribute the Najasho for Evo Force and bring out these 2 guys, you can increase each one by 1 and go into a level 6. You could go into a level 7 if you wanted to, which there is a new monster out that's level 7 that's worthy of going into. He's dinosaur and all that stuff, which is good. But the main thing to know about him is that he can increase any of these other monsters on the field. It doesn't matter who it is. So it gives you access to 5s and 6s and 7s in the deck, so you have access to Solda and other things like that. The next thing is he is a 2200 beater. If you draw this guy, it sucks. We're not running El Gennaro, so you can't put this guy back in the deck. But it's still a pretty decent card, and if you draw him, then most likely you'll be able to set a Westlow and maybe flip it up on your turn, bring out one of your dinosaurs here. And if you have a dead Westlow sitting on the field with no Evo Force or anything, then you can just tribute summon for Darwino. So either way you look at it, he's a pretty good card overall, has a lot of versatility. And then we're running the new staple for every deck, what I consider 3 Effect Veiler. Stops Rabbit now with priority being gone. It stops all kinds of things. Veiler is pretty deadly right now, so if you have this opening turn, it could really help you win the game.
Get a look at that ulti.
It could really help you win the game. So I love Effect Veiler, and we are only running one Synchro monster, which is Mistworm. The reason we're running Mistworm is because most likely most of your dinosaurs are 4s. You have a couple of 3s, but most of them are 4s. So if you have a monster born of Veiler, then you could go into Mistworm, but that's not going to happen too often in the deck, but it's an option. So that's the monsters. I don't really know how many monsters that is off the top of my head, but we're not going to worry about it. So onto the spells. 3 Evo Diversity.
This is the Rhoda.
This is the new Rhoda. Basically, he just searches out any Evo tile or any Evosaur. So minus these guys, he searches out the entire deck, which makes the deck very consistent and very speedy. So the card just opens up so many more plays and gets you the things that you need right now. This is why people were only playing on the average of 2 Najashos instead of 3. But the way I look at it, I want this card in my hand as quick as possible. So I want to go ahead and have 6 options to get it instead of 5. Next, 3 Evo Force. This is the Digivice of the deck. This is what makes all your Digimon here Digivolve.
Great mod.
Essentially. This right here is an instant Logia or Dolka, which is the overall goal of the deck. Yes, you have other Exceed monsters, but we know that Logia being a Solemn Judgment is just super hard to deal with. So these guys combine. This says you tribute an Evo tile monster, special summon an Evosaur from the deck, and it is treated as if it was special summoned by an Evo tile. That's the important part to know. So if first turn, if your opponent maybe has a back row, and maybe earlier in the game you had a Serrato destroyed, let's just say, you can normal summon this and activate this, and if they don't Solemn Judgment you or Warning you or anything like that, then you could go into your dinosaur pool, and you could go first bring out Evilsaur Volcano and target the Serrato that's in your graveyard or any other dinosaur that's in your graveyard. And you could bring out Diplo for the Evo Force or the Najasho, either one, and blow up their back row. At the same token, you could go for both Najashos and blow up 2 back rows. Or you could go for both Volcanoes, bring back 2 different dinosaurs and go into 2 rank 4 Exceeds. Or you could go into your 2 Darwinos, come in and either have 2 2200 beat sticks, or you could Exceed into Solda, or whatever you want to do.
Tyrus,
there's multiple.
Adrius,
There's so many
you've
plays.
got options.
Yeah, there's so many plays. So that's the thing about this deck, is that it has crazy amounts of plays, and it's very consistent. And I'll explain the consistency part here in just a second. But Evo Force is a very, very vital part of the deck, and I actually run 4 Evo Forces, and I'll show you how here in just a minute. Next, we run triple MST. I realize that we run the 2 Diplos, but I want to get the Najasho plays off and stuff like that, so I want 3 MSTs. Next, 3 Forbidden Lance. The reason I'm playing Lance, I hate enemy controller, always have. Even though enemy controller works with this guy and a couple of other things in the deck, I don't like the situations that you get put in with it. I feel like this is more offensive and defensively relevant. You can attack or be attacked, and damage step, activate Forbidden Lance, and they're going to lose their monster. And it makes every one of your dinosaurs relevant if you draw them. If you draw them and you normal summon them, then you can set this, and if they attempt to attack, let's say with a Thunder King or something, over your 16 damage step lance them, they lose their Thunder King, so they minus with the monster, and then also they're going to lose life points, and it leaves your monster here on board, so that next turn you can normal summon another useless dinosaur and exceed. So, and that's why I like Forbidden Lance. I like running 3 because I want the consistency of the deck to stick. So, Lance has been very good. And also, this protecting your Logias is ridiculous. It's amazing if they try to Dark Hole you just so that they can normal summon their Tour Guide, and you activate Forbidden Lance, and then they try to summon Tour Guide, and then you use Logia's effect to negate. It's an amazing card for that.
He's done his homework.
Yes, and then the one-ofs, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and Dark Hole. Those are self-explanatory, not going to go over those. But I do have one teched in Pot of Duality. The reason is, if I open this in an early hand, I'm only going to use it if I don't have the Najasho play. Because this is the only play that hurts me from not being able to special summon, being with Evil Force. So I could use it and find the next back row that I need, or the next monster that I need. Maybe if I don't have a Westlow in hand and I don't have any other good options, then I could use this trying to hit a Westlow. Or if I have a Westlow in hand and I have a Najasho, then I could use this to try to hit one of my Evo Forces. So I just want these in hand as quick as possible, so Duality just helps me get there. So he is just a one-of, but I think it's a pretty good choice. Okay, next for the traps. Double warning. I still like warning. It's nice to be able to just stop their stuff.
He's so pretty.
Just being able to stop their stuff and not have to worry about it. By the same token, we're running 2 Bottomless. Bottomless has become amazing now since priority has been taken away, and this
just ignition effects.
Yes, this wrecks Chaos Dragons, all kinds of things, so it's very nice. Next we run 1 Judgment and 1 Fiendish Chain. The reason I'm running 1 Fiendish Chain is I was thinking about running 2 Lances and 2 Fiendish Chain, or 3 Lances and the 1 Fiendish Chain, and I found that the versatility happens more with Lance, and I've got 3 Veilers which help out with this. So essentially this is just my 4th Veiler, and this right here, Evo Instant, is my 4th Evo Force. The only thing that makes this different from Evo Force is that this monster that gets brought out by this does not get the effect like Evo Force does. This says tribute a reptile monster to bring out a evil sword from the deck. It does not get its effect, but still it gives you the option to get rid of your useless Najasho or your useless Westlow at the time to bring out another dinosaur to attempt to make a play. It has saved me in multiple games. A friend turned me on to playing that. I wasn't playing it to begin with, and he mentioned it, and I have absolutely loved it.
Was that me?
So it was Paul.
Fine, be that way.
So this is the trap lineup. But guys, what I wanted to stress in this deck was consistency. Every single one of these cards right here can be played with Logia on the field to protect Logia, and it doesn't hurt. That is why there's no Torrential Tribute here. Torrential Tribute, in my opinion, is horrible in this deck. I always, if I don't have a monster to put on the field, then I'm pretty much losing anyway. You're almost always going to be able to set a Westlow.
What about Book of Moon?
Book of Moon is good too, but I have so many magic space taken up that I feel like everything else does its part. I have so much negation with running 3 Logias, running the double Judgments, the double Bottomless, the Fiendish Chain, running the Lances to get over stuff. I feel like I have so many outs to monsters being able to attack me that Book of Moon is not too big of an option. It would help. It's a great card. I'm just choosing not to run it. I don't have any extra space. I'm already running 41 cards. But you're almost going to always be able to set one of these guys, normal summon one of these guys, or if you have to play another dinosaur, you'll have something between Lance or something in hand
just to protect it,
to help you defend them. So that's why I don't like Torrential Tribute, because if I do end up with some dinosaurs in my hand, I want to be able to normal summon it, defend it, and then normal summon another one, whether it be this guy or something like that, so that I can exceed into Logia and Dolka. Now if I have Logia and Dolka on the field and I top deck into a Torrential Tribute, it does nothing for me because that card cannot help me defend my monster. So Torrential Tribute is a phenomenal card. I just do not like it in this deck. But guys, the theme of the deck though, that like I've been talking about in most of this video, is consistency. I realize that there's a one-of here and a one-of here, but they're still decent cards, but every other card in here almost is run in triple, and it just makes the deck so universal to get. They all work with each other, and you're able to pull pretty much anything you need to out of the deck. So I don't know. I feel like the deck is crazy consistent, and it plays amazingly. If you guys like the concept of Dino Rabbit being able to play Logia and Dolka, but you don't want to play something that's so standard tier 1, you know, where you just summon and pop it, you want to have a little more versatility of what you can do, I highly suggest playing Evols.
And it's cheaper for any of you guys who don't have tour guides.
Yeah, it is cheaper right now. You don't have to run tour guide. Now, I will explain a little bit of extra stuff about this deck. One thing I want to talk to you guys about is one side deck card.
Dun, dun, dun.
Goes in match. Fire. 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 You guys getting the hint here? Fire. Fire.
So we counter Chaos Dragons, we
Fire.
counter
Everything is fire.
Heroes,
What is Logia?
Dino Rabbit.
Logia is fire. What is Dolka? Dolka is fire. What is Solda? Solda is fire. What is Zenmains? Zenmains is fire. This will wreck people's shit. Okay, guys. I just want you guys to understand that this
Except
card...
Inzectors.
Except Inzectors, but still, this will
That's
be...
the Weevil deck.
This will be an amazing...
This is Rex's.
An amazing card to side deck, and if you wanted to main deck one, you can main deck. I don't necessarily recommend it, but you could. So anyway, that's just something I wanted to mention. Incredible, incredible card.
Okie
Now,
dokie.
extra deck, guys, I don't have the whole thing right now. I got a couple cards to get.
PM him if you have
Photon
Dolkas.
Strike Bouncer.
Yeah, Photon Strike.
I just need one Dolka, Photon Strike Bouncer, and the new Dragon, Thunder Dragon, whatever he is from Galactic.
The Gaia one?
Yeah, you can run all three of those. They work perfectly in the deck. Now, I'm running one Maestro, one Utopia, one Acid Golem.
Maestro has the Book of Moon ability.
Yeah, so, yeah, she's kind of my poor man's Book of Moon, I guess, whatever. Zen
Well, you
Meister,
have two. That's like having two books.
one C39, one number 17, one Zen Main, one Solda. I'm running 3 Logia and 1 Dolka. Plus the, like I said, the Strike Bouncer and stuff like that. They work really well on the deck. So guys, basically, just wanted to show you guys the deck. It's
And
not
the
that,
Mistworm. Don't forget about the
yeah,
Mistworm.
Mistworm. It's not that expensive. If you can just get a hold of the side deck cards and stuff like that. The main deck is really not that expensive. It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed a more in-depth deck profile.
What about your
I'm
side
usually
deck?
able to give. The side deck isn't like complete right now necessarily,
But they want to see it.
It's for right now. It's 2 Goes in Match, 2 Chain Disappearance, 2 Smashing Grounds. This is mainly for Rabbit.
And
This
so
is
are the
for-
Chain Disappearance?
Yeah, this is for a lot of things.
Like
this
Hornet?
Yeah, this is for tons of other stuff. Obviously, we got Inzectors here. Wind-ups and any gadgets. Gadgets are actually kind of catching back up in popularity right
Because
now.
of Banff.
3 DD Crow. DD Crow works against all kinds of things right now. Chaos Dragons, Inzectors, things like that. So right there, that's 3, 5, 7,
9, 11, 13.
13. So I've got room for 2 more in here. And in fact, I think Danny mentioned one earlier. Electric Virus is a card that I'll probably end up putting in here as well. But anyway, guys, the deck is amazing. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed a more in-depth analysis kind of thing of the deck. If you watched this long, props to you guys. So anyway, thanks a lot. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook, which you can find in the description below. I'll see you guys at Nationals.
Thumbs up this video.
If somebody plays this at YCS Philly and tops before I get a chance, I'm going to be pissed. So anyway, see you guys. Peace.